messages. Tomorrow morning 9:30 because our stock arrived yesterday. All our ribbons arrived yesterday, and yeah, as luck would have it, my computer has now decided that it is not going to work with me. So as soon as he leaves tomorrow, I'm starting your designs, or starting to print your stuff.
YouTube is live on my side.
I think YouTube is live.
It's live on my side.
He says say hi to the people because I don't know who's here.
Kim says hi and joined.
Hello, Kim.
Hi, Bernice and Susan and Lifestyle Angel on YouTube.
Hello, everyone.
Amelia says thank you for the feedback.
Cool. If it's not one thing, it's the other. Anyway, we fight another day. Live Tuesdays, and we talk anything and everything sewing. And I normally do a quick tutorial for about an hour, and then we have an open question and Q&A where you can ask me anything while we're in the tutorial. I would prefer only questions about the tutorial, because otherwise I'm answering other things and we're not finishing up the tutorial. So if you have any questions, it normally takes about 45 minutes to an hour for the tutorial, and then we have, as I said, an open session. You can ask me anything. If I don't know, I will find out. Yeah, that's it. And for all the newbies, I'm Amanda. This is Lisa over here. She's in Pretoria, and behind the camera is Matthew. You're going to come say hi, Matthew?
Yes, I will.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Burns and Camille and Louise.
Matthew, I was just thinking we never set any of those phones to silent, eh?
They all seem to be silent.
Yes, but if they ring.
Okay, yes, I will put them on silent. Hello,
There's
everyone.
Matthew. He's back from Pretoria. He came last night. So I have my usual cameraman again.
Yes.
Hopefully everything goes well.
Yes, it seems to all be going well today, so hopefully we can keep this going. Hopefully nothing breaks this time.
I'm trying to see Lisa, but she can't see me.
Matthew, you were not in the camera.
I'm gonna go. Hello, Lisa.
It's okay, they heard me.
Matthew, go say hi again on the other side.
I think it's Lynn is here as well.
Hello, Len.
It ups our chances of having something to use as the...
Yeah, for the few MILFs out there. We have a few.
That makes me uncomfortable. Hello, everyone.
Yes.
I can see me as well.
You guys know who I'm talking about.
Marjorie is here from Somerset West.
Hello, Marjorie.
Okay, Zura and Bellaway and Lynn and Kita on Instagram. No one on Facebook chats to us. Facebook is always very, very quiet. Nothing new.
I just took a picture of you. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. I'm trying to set the camera, the sound too loud. Here we go. Okay, guys, we are at right at the pinnacle of...
Hey, if you're here, let us know if you're here. Send some emojis, send some hearts, send some love. Are you guys excited for tonight's live stream?
We're making something that you all need. Every single one of you will need this.
And you guys can go download the pattern for tonight at www.fabric8.co.za/insta-rake. I'm going to post it everywhere now as well. But if you don't have the pattern yet for tonight, go and get it.
Yeah, and all our previous patterns are also there if you're new and you haven't had been here before. This is the 18th project. So we've got 17 projects before this one that's there available to download.
Matthew, please pin it on Instagram.
Got you.
And not like Jan pinned the remember last week he pinned, Lisa telling him to pin the pin.
Real great move there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to.
Pattern, and yeah, that's all I got for you. And leave us a like. If you're on YouTube, give us a like. Leave a comment.
Subscribe.
Okay.
And subscribe. But even if you're not chatty, just say hi because it boosts us in the algorithm, and then more people find us, and the community gets bigger. So leave us a like, share it, comment. And Amanda, tell them about the WhatsApp groups.
Yeah, so we have 2 WhatsApp groups. Lisa, the one's called Fabricate Updates. That WhatsApp group will not be for chats. They are just so we can remind you of our lives or if we have any specials, but it won't be a constant WhatsApp ping. All right, and then we have our chat group, our Fabricate chat group. And this is a group where you guys can ask questions, and I've seen so many people being helped there. And we encourage people to actually chat to each other. So if you don't like it, put it on silent, and it's a good bedtime story to read. When I get to bed, sometimes there's like 56 messages. So then I have like a whole big bedtime story to read. And if you don't like it, you're welcome to leave. We are not offended. And as I said, we have quite a few very helpful people on there already, and it's very, very, it's nice and friendly also.
Yes, I posted it in our chats to the people on Instagram who can't copy and paste the link. You can just send Fabricate the message, or you can go to www.fabricate.co.za/insta-link. The WhatsApp group links are there as well. Just a note, I do often change the link. So if you ever can't join the group for some reason, just go to www.fabricate.co.za/insta-link. That is where I put all the links for everything ever. So if we do change the WhatsApp group link, you will find the new link there. Because we get like spammers joining us, especially on Facebook.
Yeah, like after this live, normally we get a lot of spammers, and we try and get rid of them as quick as possible, but then we have to reset the link because they found us and they don't stop until they have everyone. Also, something else, if ever you do get a private message from anyone claiming to be us, all right, make sure it is us. Please, people, we will not send you links to click on. We will not send you a special or giveaway in the WhatsApp group. Unfortunately, these bots sit literally and wait for a link to be created, and then they jump on it, and the first thing they do is all 200 WhatsApp members of our group gets a private PM. Block immediately and tell us about it. You'll see that if it's any number that's not +27, please just tell us about it. We will immediately delete them. But please do not click on links that these people are sending you, and do not send them money, and they don't really love you. They don't even know what you look like.
I also get some messages from these people, and it's really lovely gifts.
Yeah, now I had a lady wanting to give me, she's going to send me the naked pics I asked for. I'm like, no, that wasn't me.
Lisa, I can't pin that comment. Lisa?
Hello in chat. We'd love to know you're here. We'd love to give you like a shout out.
It's delayed. Lisa, Matthew wants to say something.
Yeah.
I can't pin the comment because there's a bar over where the pin comment button is. So we're going to have to deal without pinning that comment, just so you're aware.
Yeah, and it can't move slightly.
Yeah, no,
That's the same thing we had last week.
I can block Lisa from, that's the button I can push, and I've pushed and almost pushed multiple times, but I cannot pin that comment.
Okay. Well, it's on our Instagram, is it not? So if you're on Instagram, where's the link on Instagram?
If you're on Instagram and you're looking for the link for tonight's pattern, or the links to our WhatsApp, or the links to anything ever, it is in our bio. Click on our name.
Bio.
At the top of the screen or wherever it is, Fabricate_SA, and then click on the link in our bio.
Okay. All right, guys.
Fabricate.co.za/insta-link. Very easy.
/insta-link.
Yes.
There we go. For me, nothing about this is easy. Okay, guys, something else. Next week, Tuesday, let me put it to you. My lady, I put it to you that I will be in Pretoria visiting this lovely lady. This one. Can she see me? Where's the camera? This lovely lady. This one. And so we'll do a live, but we'll do a live like we did last time I was in Pretoria. We'll do a Q&A quickly if we can get Wi-Fi. I don't know if we're going to do... we'll see what we can do. We'll have to figure that out.
Yeah, you have to bring all the phones.
Oh, shit. Okay, so I'll bring all the phones. And then we'll see what we can do. But it depends on the Wi-Fi at the Airbnb we're staying at. If it
But at my flat.
Oh yeah, we can do it at the flat. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Great.
It's not last time.
Huh? Yeah, not like last time where the camera got hot and everything. Okay guys, so let's get ready for tonight's tutorial. As I said, if you have any questions regarding the tutorial, what I'm doing in the tutorial, you're welcome to ask this in chat. Matthew and Lisa monitors them and then they give it to me. But please keep your other sewing questions or shopping questions for the open Q&A, where you can ask anything and we will try and give you an answer to everything. All right.
Amina said it's fine if you do go to Pretoria as long as you still do it live.
Yeah. No, I'll be there for you, Amina. Through sick and sin. Okay guys, so I'm going to just move Lisa a little bit so I can get my pattern. Okay guys, so the pattern we're doing tonight, it's called a sewing machine cover and mat. Okay, so I didn't really know what to call it, but it's a very easy sewing machine cover. So yes, I know there's better ones, but this one doubles as a mat to put on your table when you're not using it. Because what irritates me the most about sewing machine covers is that I now have to fold it up and put it somewhere while my machine is open. So this actually goes under your machine and it has a handy pocket here in front for some of your essentials. Okay, it's a very, very simple pattern, and I've tried to make quite a bit of it because a lot of it I can explain without actually showing you the sewing of it, because otherwise we're never going to finish the project. And this is the problem with our live, and that's why we don't do like dresses and jackets and big things, because it isn't nice if we run over to another class. All right, so Lisa, should you be looking at me now or stay where you are?
I'm fine.
Okay.
Either one.
No, I'm also fine.
Come in.
Huh?
I mean, good to know that we're still doing a live stream next week.
Okay, so the pattern, when you print it out, you'll see there's a front page that gives you the pattern name. And if people are wondering why I'm putting that there, it's so that if you are making a file for yourself with all the patterns in them, that each pattern has a front page, so that you don't get confused with just, a lot of these things that actually don't have big names on it. Okay, the first page is, as I said, it's just a front page, and then on the second page you'll see the printing instructions. This is very important because I don't know if you guys download patterns from the internet, but remember always that in South Africa we only use the A4 version. In America they sometimes use what's called a letter size. Okay, so if you had been printing American patterns and it's on letter size, remember to set to A4, and then you'll see that there's a block that says scale to fit, and just above it normally, I'm on a Mac, so I don't know about PC, but just above it normally it says 97%, because it's scaled it to fit into the page. That means the few millimeters it's gonna, but my pattern has been adjusted for that. So you need to always have 100% there. So do not choose scale to fit. Click on the button above that and type in 100%. Okay, so when you print out the pattern, I don't have page 1 anymore, but you'll see on page 1 there's a little block that is 3 centimeters by 3 centimeters. So a good thing to do is to print out only that one page at 100%, measure that 3 centimeters by 3 centimeters, and if it is 3 centimeters, then you know you're printing at the right size. Okay, and then you'll see my pages have numbers on them and a little gray, a light gray block. Now you need to align the light gray blocks. Okay, so you're going to go page 1, and then you're going to align by overlapping the gray line of page 2, and so, and another row if it needs to be. Okay, so this is the pattern we had. So the cut on fold, obviously you know, if you don't like to cut on fold, you can just double this. If you print it again, just stick them together. That is the same thing as cutting on fold. Okay, so what we need is we need to cut, remember this is on fold, we need to cut 2 pieces of, 1 piece of the outer fabric and 1 piece of the inner fabric. So for my project, I've chosen the, our, what is that? Sugar skulls, and for my inside fabric I chose this blocky one. All right, okay, what I've done is I've quilted it, but we have done a live before with quilting, so I'm just gonna quickly run through how I do quilting. And please people, this is not the way you quilt a blanket. This is not the right way to do it. This is my way to do it, because I am a lazy sewer and I don't like sickling. I don't like struggling. So this is how I do it. It is not the cheapest way to do it either. So please don't go out there and say Amanda says this is the only way. It's not the only way. This is my way. I make a lot of bags, handbags and rucksacks and things like that, and I like my fabric to be stuck together. So we have previously done this, but I'm going to give you a quick tutorial on the way I do quilting. All right, okay, so firstly I have, let's just go with, that's our outer layer fabric and this is our inner layer fabric. So to my outer layer fabric, I'm going to take this, which is called compressed batting. Lisa, did you post those links, or
I did not.
are you going to post them?
I will post them as we go along.
Okay, so this is,
Just tell me when I need to post them.
okay, this is compressed batting. It's on our website. So it's fusible, so it makes it just slightly thicker than the fabric, normal fabrics, and it gives it just a little bit of stiffening. It's not a very hard or stiff fabric. So we're going to take this and we're going to put the glue side against the back of our outer fabric, and again using my Prim mini steam iron, which Lisa can also post. That is, and I'm just gonna fuse it together. And remember, when you're fusing, you don't want actually any bits hanging over, because those bits are gonna get stuck to your iron. So you, as soon as you've got it semi settled to the center of the fabric, you can cut your edges clean, and that way you never get them on your iron. And remember to get rid of those pieces, because if they stay on your ironing board, they will also stick to your iron. Okay, so I do that. Woo, how dirty is my iron? Okay, so I've stuck that fusible compressed batting to my outside fabric. Okay, but now what I like, especially when I'm quilting, is I actually like the inside fabric to be stuck down also, because if it's not stuck down and I start sewing, can you see what it does? It stretches out of proportion. So then what I use is the spider web. Lisa, there's a link for that also. The spider web, which is a double-sided fusing, and it's called spider web because if you take the glue, let me just try and get the glue off here. Where have it? Did it go? No, let me get it. Oh, off cut. Okay, let's get it off cut because I don't want to. Okay, so if you, what it basically is it's glue stuck to a little bit of paper, and it's stuck to paper, so you can iron it onto a fabric and not get the glue on your iron, and then take the fabric off, and then the glue is left behind on your fabric. So we're going to just, on the batting, on the compressed batting, I am now going to just iron this. And again, you'll see I'm not going to the edges because I'm going to go around. Whoops. I'm going to go around and just cut off the edges before I actually start pressing and making sure that it's stuck down, because I don't want these bits stuck to my iron. Alright, so once I've done that, I'm going to do a slow iron, and it doesn't need steam because we're working with paper. So we're going to just do it slowly, making sure the edges are well stuck down. And once that's done, you're going to wait for it to cool down, because we need that glue to sort of harden again before we peel the paper off. So as soon as that's done, and take a little bit, you should be able to just peel off the paper. And I'm going to come close to show you guys so you can see. And this is just a sample, so please mind but if you can see, there's a shiny, can you see the sort of lattice work? So all the glue has been deposited onto that piece of batting. And now I'm going to take my backing fabric, and on the glue side I'm going to iron it down. So this is just a sample, people. I would be more careful and more thorough when I do it normally. But now what you can see, let me just do this one again. And now you can have a bit of steam because we don't have any paper anymore. And steam is actually sometimes, it actually works better than other just normal ironing. Okay, so I'm not going to take forever. Alright, so now you have, basically, it's almost like roof lining. So you have a piece of fabric with your piece of batting or fusible compressed batting in between, and the fabric on the outside. And what I now would do normally, if I can find my pen, which was here just now, oh here we go, is whatever pattern you like, you can literally draw a pattern onto it, or you could use a ruler to make lines. And the next thing you're going to do is you literally just, nothing funny, we are just going to sew through it. And that is how I do my quilting. I'm going to do 2 or 3 lines so I can show you. But you can see it makes it very easy, and it all sticks together. No pins needed, nothing like that. Okay, so if I can show you now, I've just literally sewn through my lines, and you can see it gives it a little bit of structure without it being like a hard thing. Okay, all right, so that's quilting for you. So now we're going to return back to the pattern, and we're going to assume that you guys have done that with your whole big block, and you've actually quilted it through. So you can see that I've already done all my quilting stitches. All right, and you're going to cut this bit, which is the little pockets, and you're going to quilt that too. But remember that this pocket bit is going to go onto the front, so it's nice to contrast it, otherwise you won't see it. And then you're going to edge the top. So this, I'll show you, I've just pinned it there. Okay, so that's basically my square, and I'm going to show you now how to measure your own machine, because this square is for my machine. Yours might be bigger, yours might be smaller. All right, and just to show you, this is also quilted. And then I just edged it with bias binding, which I'll show you how to do just now. Okay, so this, you won't have this hole once you've done this because it's going to be a complete square. All right, Lisa, I'm throwing you full of fabric. All right, so what I wanted is I wanted this to be able to go through, the handle must go like that. Okay, so I needed to make that hole for the handle. And now you'll see that, as I said, this is a simple cover because we want it flat. We can't close this edges because then it can't be a mat. So what I've done is I've basically gone and added, I would say, about 4 centimeters to the sides of my machine. So what I've done is I've taken, remember you can't measure from here because this is further out. So I've literally measured my machine like that. And then on this side, remember you have to add the knob. So I've taken that and then, which was 45 say, and I've added 4 centimeters plus 8. So that gives us 53 about, all right? And then the other measurement you need is from the floor here, like this, over the machine to the floor here, which is, and you don't need to add there, you just need to add seam allowance. Okay, so that's just 1 centimeter each. Okay, so then the next thing I did is I found the center of my 2 blocks, and now I'm going to show you how to do this. Again, there's better and smarter ways to do this, but this is an easy beginner's way. Okay, this is not the perfect way to do it. There's a better way even, but this is an easy way for beginners to do it. Okay, so we're going to work on this piece, Soma, like that. And so what I did is I actually put this over. Obviously it didn't have a hole. I put it over. I measured that let me just get this. I measured that the same amount of overhang is here and at the top here. And then I sort of felt my way and I made a mark. And I felt my way and I made a mark. And then I figured out the width of this and I made my hole 2 centimeters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you on, let me just take this out of the way, on this piece of fabric how I made that hole. So we're just going to go with, that's the center of our the center, and I decided that my hole needed to be 2 centimeters wide. So I'm going from the center, I'm marking 1 centimeter this way and 1 centimeter this way. Okay, and then I also figured out how wide this is, and I gave it an extra 5 mil on each side. It doesn't matter, it doesn't have to. Okay, let's make it fit so you guys can see. Let's make it fit. So what I did is I literally went like this and I added 0.5 and I squared and made it a long rectangle. You see, if you need to go, you can go and come back. Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Oh, okay. All right. So now you can see, I'm going to come a little bit closer. Excuse that line. I've made a rectangle the size of the hole I want to make. All right. So now I am going to take another piece of fabric. I'm going to cut it a little bit shorter so that it's more manageable. Okay. And again, I'm going to draw that same picture on the center of this fabric. Where is this? There we go. So I'm going to get a center line. I'm going to go 1 centimeter up. And I'm going to go 1 centimeter to this side. And if you want to get the measurement, you can use this as your guide. Like that. And we're drawing the same square or rectangle, let me get this, on this as we did as the hole we need. Okay, so next thing you need to think about is, for instance, like mine, I actually wanted, because the one side of this hole doesn't show any color, can you see? And the other side shows the color, but I actually wanted the color to be on the right side. So that means that I'm going to take this piece of fabric. Let's go with, let me just get, I can't think with these there. Okay, so I'm going to go with, I want the color to show on the blue side. Okay, if I want it to show on the blue side, I need to sew it to the other side. Okay, so if you get this problem like me, that I've now drawn on the other side, that's not a problem, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this pin, put it right in the corner there, and find this corner and match them up perfectly. I'm going to take the next pin through that corner, and I'm going to find the other corner, and that's how I line up my corners perfectly, like that. Okay, and the same on this side. All right, and then I'm just gonna pin this nice and flat. You can also iron it.
Saskia on Facebook says she's been wanting to make a cover for her machine for ages because the machine gets very dusty.
Yeah, they do. And this one, I promise you, is so cool because you can actually just throw it over. It's almost like a, yes, it's got a tie at the side, but you don't actually have to do that. You literally can just throw it over the machine. You don't have to go sickling and unplugging and anything like that. Okay, so the best way is obviously is to pin this, because you don't want it to go skew. So you're going to pin it all the way like that. And then here's a little bit of almost want to say professional tip. When you're doing this, you are going to be, afterwards you'll see when we get there, you are going to be cutting right close to your own sewing line. So when you always when you have to do that, that's like when you do an inset corner or anything like that, you want to shorten your stitches on the corners. Why? Because they hold better than a 2.5 corner. So I am, as I said, a lazy sewer. So previously I used to sew normal and change just for the corners. Now I just sew at 2 mil. So it's only slightly shorter, but it gives me a little bit more strength on my sewing. You could shorten it even more, it doesn't matter. And what I'm going to do is I am going to sew. Is it on now? Why is it not? Wait. Okay, wait. I've got a new machine. People don't laugh at me. Okay, it's on. Sorry, I'm looking for the picture, but this one's got lights. Okay, so I'm going to start on the straight, not in a corner. So I'm going to start on the straight, and I'm going to sew exactly on my line. Guys, especially when you're doing tailoring, this is, as I said, this is not the perfect way of doing it, but there is a tailoring method where you also make pockets like this. And if you don't sew right on your line, trust me, it doesn't work out perfectly. All right, so, yeah?
What machine is that?
This was my new machine, and I'm going to talk about that just a little bit later when I can turn it around. I will share my new baby with you guys soon. Okay, so I'm just going around on my exact line. And I'm making a complete square. A triangle. What is a rectangle? Sorry, me in the English language, you know. Alright. So if you can see,
Rodko on Instagram asks, what is tailoring?
tailoring.
Yeah.
That's like men's suits. Okay, so you can see that I've sewn exactly on my line all the way around. Okay, so now I'm going to draw it on a piece of paper for you so that it's bigger so you can see. So say we've sewn this now. This is our block that we've sewn, okay? We need to find the center of this block and draw a line. Yes, okay? Then we need to make, if this is 1 centimeter and this is 1 centimeter, we also need to draw a line 1 centimeter from there and there. You do this. After a while, you'll see I'm not going to draw the lines because I know how to cut it, okay? But once you've got that, then you're going to go from here to there. And from here to there. So in the end, let me show you, your drawing is going to look like that. Okay? And you are going to cut, I'm going to get a different color pencil to show you where you are going to cut. If I have one. Purple. Purple is going to disappear, but we work quick. You are going to cut, you're going to cut this open. Oh, it's a lovely dry purple pencil. So you're going to cut there, but you're going to stop there and you're going to cut here. And you're going to cut there. And you're going to cut there. And there. Okay? When you get to these corners, this is why we did the shorter stitch. When you get to these corners, you want to cut right into the corner without actually cutting through your stitches. Okay? So you'll see how I do it. I don't do it that way anymore, but that is the way I learned. And that's how I know how to do it now. So I'm going to cut open my center line. And then I'm going to do, it's exactly the same as I told you to do. And I'm going to cut right into the corners, right up to your stitching. And this is why making your stitching a little bit shorter helps you. Okay, so I want to show you. Can you see? It's open now. It's a hole. It's a hole, complete hole. Okay, so I'm going to make this one obviously a little bigger than the one we did so that you guys can see. But this, I'm going to just cut this a little bit shorter. But you will see now when we do this what you should actually measure this also so that you get an even little square around your hole. But as things are now, we are just going off book or freehand. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is you want to go and you want to iron that nice and flat. You want to iron that nice and flat, and you also want to iron that way. I'm going to do that, and then you're going to see what I'm going to do next. So you're going to iron them on all the stitch lines nice and flat so that you get a perfect turn around or turn over. Okay, so what I've done, and I'm going to come closer again, you can see I've just ironed them there, that one there, just so that we get a nice, now I'm going to push all of this ugly. I'm going to push through. Okay, so it's going to be on the right side now. Okay, I'm going to go down because otherwise I won't be able to show you, and I am going to pull it through, and then I'm going to flap this whole thing back with the little lips that we've created and iron it flat again, and I'll show you as soon as I've done it. And as I said, the people out there who know how to sew and know how to do these, this is my beginner version, just a little bit easier than the other versions. And you'll see, I also suggest that you don't go cutting your hole into your mat before you've done a little test on this. Now where do you think is my clapper? This is where clapper is perfect. This is again me with the bloody poly cotton, which doesn't iron like cotton, doesn't stay flat. I wonder where my clapper is. It's gone. Okay, so now if you can see what happened, look, see, I've ironed this all to the back, and on the front, can you see we just have the hole, or that's the actual back, and this is going to be the front. All right, and now I am going to bring the iron here so you guys can see. I'm just going to turn this in and get it sort of semi-even, like that. And once I've done that, I am going to just pin it so when I stitch it doesn't lift and move and whatever. Okay, and I'm going to just go around and do the other side. Same. More or less even. Someone once told me, if you can't see it from 4 feet, nobody else is going to see it. I don't know how far is 4 feet, but that sounds like a good plan to work with. All right, there we go, and there. And then the last bit is normally the more difficult one, is I always just go and make sure that they cut nice and straight, because now you have to just fold this in, and you have to see to it that that inside bit doesn't show. And again, just pin it, because there we go. And the same with this one. Let's just give it a little clean cut, and we're gonna pin it.
Lynn said that she's used her pins a lot this weekend and didn't bleed once, so her pinning is progressing from beginner to intermediate. Nothing beats the clip style.
Yeah. You know, most people who start sewing don't. When you look at someone who is sewing, you look at. I suppose it's like someone who can type and someone who can't type. You think typing is going to be so easy until you try it. It looks so easy when someone who does it every day does it. Now the same for pinning. I never knew before I actually taught that pinning is a skill you have to acquire. You have to learn. Okay, so I know that you actually have to learn to pin, and also lots of grown-ups actually have to learn how to cut again. All right, so you can see what I've done.
Pamela says you're living on the edge there, ironing on your cutting mat.
Yes, Nay, I am. I'm dangerous like that. And now I'm just gonna give it a top stitch. Me and my friend here, we're still getting acquainted. I get so little time to actually sew these days. So we're just going to top stitch right around. And this is as I said, this is an easy, simple way of doing it. And it actually looks quite professional. Even though we have not used the complete professional way to do it. That sounds really funny, but okay. And also now I am set up for red, which is not the right color here, but it's okay. Do another one. Can I do another one? I can. All right. Okay, so this is not obviously my neatest work, but now if you look at that and remember we said it had to fit this, and look at that. Okay, all right. So watch this video again if you need to do it, because it takes a little bit of figuring out. Okay, so the next bit on our actual project, now that we've done that, is be very aware that, like my machine, this is not in the middle, né? So I need to actually physically put this on my machine and cover Lisa up, but put it on my machine to find the front, because if I just went, I would have put the pockets on the back. Alright, so this is my front, and I'm taking my piece of quilted fabric and I'm matching it up to the bottom edge here, and I'm just going to be pinning it so that it sticks there. And once I've done that, I am going to take my template, and this is where I made this especially a little bit smaller than the template, so you can see once you've done this whole big rug thing, go and measure your machine again, because it's difficult when you're measuring to actually get a good feel for it. So I decided to actually make it 2 centimeters smaller than the first measurement I had. So now I'm just gonna, even though this hangs over, I'm just gonna give it the same amount of overhang on each side, okay? And then I'm gonna find my pen again, which is under here, and I'm going to just mark where those lines should be, okay? And then I'm gonna take this out of my mouth, and I'm gonna get a nice straight line down and down, 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 and this one here. If you're not using this ruler yet, you are missing out on being much more straight than you think you are. Yes. Pun intended. Okay, so now we are just going to sew on these lines, making sure that at the top we do a good enforcement, because these are going to be our little pockets to hang things on. Alright, Lizzie, you need to move. Thank you. And I am going to start there. It's going to be a red line now because I've changed to red. It should have been black, but I changed before class to get it the right color for the bias binding. Alright, so that's number 1 done. And number 2 done. Okay, and I'm going to turn it around so that I don't shove the fabric into Lisa's face. And last one. Is everyone understanding? Is there any questions up till here? Okay, so just to show you, these form little pockets now, see? But obviously we're gonna sew that, it's open at the bottom still, but we're gonna sew that closed. Alright, so next is the bias binding all around. Okay, so I'm gonna just, to keep these together, pin the bottoms, but I've set up some bias binding things. Okay, so remember last week I said I actually had coffee. Did I not have coffee? Oh, Matthew, go fetch my coffee.
Where is it?
It's on that desk there.
Okay, I'll get it.
I'm losing. I need some spit. Okay, so last week I said there's two basic ways, and again, there's always someone with a new way or a different way. But there's two basic ways of doing bias binding. The one is with the bias binding foot, and the problem with the bias binding, oh, thank you, Matthew. Thank you. The problem, let me get a sip in there. The problem with the bias binding foot is this part where your fabric has to go through. You can't do too thick fabric. So something like this, I would actually do with the old-fashioned bias binding method, because it's too thick to run through the foot. Okay, but I want to show you how this foot actually works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the machine around and put it there, so you guys have a closer view on the machine. If I can get there with the machine, I think I can. So we're going to do a little bit of, and then we're going to do a little bit of bragging with my new baby. Oh, okay. Matthew, can you check for view? Yeah? Lisa, what does that look like? Can you see? Is that okay?
On YouTube it's fine. Facebook.
Okay. We're never going to get perfectly close. You guys actually, you're going to just have to sort of experiment. It's the best way actually to do it, is actually to try. And as I said before, we have these generic bias binding feet, and they fit all brothers, and I know they fit most Elnas and most singers also. So new singers, they're not old singers, people. It has to have the clip-on foot. I'm just preparing the bias binding, so I'm just ironing it in the middle because that works very well with a foot. I'm going to show you now. So I'm not going to do that whole bit. I just want to show you why last week I said that it actually works better if you use when you use the foot, if you make your edge or your, let me just finish one thing. I'm not even thinking. Okay, so if you curve instead of square your corners, because this can actually go around curves while it struggles to go around straight corners. Okay, so as I said last week, I don't know if you guys can see, but you're going to have to, you take your bias binding and you fold it and iron it right in the middle. And then this part opens up like that, and it goes, oops, goes that way. It's because I'm standing on this side of the machine. And it needs to actually lip at the top. I'm going to put it in so you guys can see, and then I'll take my hands back. Okay, so if you can see, there's a little lip. It needs to be the top flip over the top lip and the bottom over. And then what you're going to do is you are going to roll this little wheel. And I'm trying to not have my hands in the picture. Roll this little wheel until it's semi-tight in there. And lots of times the bias binding gets stuck underneath because the feed dog has these little teeth, so you can always just pull it through. It's because I'm now at the wrong side of the machine. Can you believe that? There we go. It just needs to be a little bit at the back there. Alright, so we're just gonna keep rolling and checking that we have it flipped over, which we didn't, which I don't, because it unslipped with me pulling at the back. Okay guys, I need to be on this side of the machine. There we go. I'm like a stupid person on that side. Okay, got it. So now we're just going to do that pulling bit again. Just pulling it through. There we go. Okay, so now I can also show you. You'll see those little lips. I need to be at the bottom, I need to be under, and at the top I need to be over. And this binding needs to sit nice and tight against the wall. Okay, and then I'm going to take our fabric, and in between, can you see that there is actually a little slit? So what I normally do is I open the binding up. Guys, if I look uncomfortable, it's because I'm not behind the machine, so please forgive. There we go. And then I open the binding up as far as I can, and then I slip it in there because it needs to be up against that fold. Oh gosh, there we go. It's funny how your perspective changes from the side. Alright, so now you can see that I push that almost against the wall there, against the wall of the binding. And now on this machine it has two settings. It has a left needle setting and a center needle setting. Now the center needle setting now is going to stitch right down the center of my bias binding, which is not what I want. I want it to be on the left. So I need to find my left setting. There we go. And if I can find the foot, and all be see, I'm just gonna start. What is wrong? Lower the pressure foot again. As I said, I am not behind it, so and I am just gonna sew and keeping this all nice and neat. There we go. And I want to show you that it actually sews right on the edge. And as you're going to get here, this is difficult for me from this side, but bias binding can stretch, so it can actually stretch around the corners. Okay, so you're just going to keep sewing, and as you move around the corner, you are going to turn and fold. Can you see? Turn and fold the bias binding around the corner. Okay, so it's very difficult for me to sew like this, guys. Please excuse me. Let me get my scissors, and I'm going to show you the other way. As soon as a project becomes a little bit too difficult, I actually use the other method. But let me show you that with that foot, how perfect it sews on the edge. Can you see? It's red on red, unfortunately. But so this is a very, very nice thing to way to do it. When you are, if you've got something that's nice and big and rounded. Okay, I left my iron there. Okay, so the method I'm going to use on this, because of the thickness, is actually the way that I said to you last week. So I'm going to actually just start it, and then I can always move back if I'm struggling. So I don't know what's happening here. Oh, you're back. Okay, so I'm not actually ironing my bias binding. And again, I'm going to start somewhere where it's the back of the what is this, sewing cover. So I'm going to start it like that. Oops. And I'm going to obviously not have the binding foot now. Have the normal foot. Alright, and I want to show you up close. I'm going to open this little flap of my binding, and I'm going to line it up to the edge of my fabric. See? And I'm going to sew right on that fold. Okay, so it actually, that fold line gives you a little bit of a cheat sheet where you sew exactly on that fold line. Okay guys, I know this looks very like someone who can't sew. I feel like someone who can't sew. And I'm going back to my, what is happening? See, me and this machine is not, we're not friends yet. Are we? What are you doing? 3? Can I have a 3? Where do I need to be? Oh, I need to be there. And I need to press 3. And now it wants 0, 3. I don't understand that.
For our YouTube viewers, did you guys see we managed to get rid of all the flashing?
Oh yeah. Is it better now?
YouTube got a serious brain. Why?
Is it better now?
Yeah, it's way better.
Oh, okay.
And there's no black box in the middle of the screen.
We are upgrading, people. We are now on standard grade. We will soon be on higher grade. Okay, so I'm gonna just sew. I'm gonna just start and show you guys. So it's very strange to not be behind your machine. Okay, so I'm trying to sew on that fold. Okay, so I'm gonna move the machine back because I actually physically can't, and then when I get back to that bit I will show you again. I can't sew like that. I've just realized something I never knew. Okay, we are back where we belong. All right, and I am going to just sew this right round. Yeah. And when we get to the corner, we're going to do what we talked about last week, the meter, I don't know, meter corner or something. There's a weird R that I don't know what to do with. Okay, there we go, and turn and sew to the corner. Okay, so for that meter corner I am sewing a straight line, and then when I get to the point where I know I would have turned, I make so I sew like this, and then I sew up to the corner, and then I take this up and take this, see, 45 like that. That's why we do that skew little bit, and then we bring it back down exactly like that. I'll show you. Okay, there you see. So I'm making it go. So I first turned it up 45, and now I'm coming back, and now I'm going to sew again on that line, on that fold line. So many freaking wires underneath my feet. I don't know what I'm stepping on. Okay, and here we go. Great stuff. Let's go. Remember to take your pins out. Don't sew over your pins. The new machines aren't made to be able to do it. You will be sad. What? Lisa, did you say something?
Me? Oh. I don't know. Yes, Kim says me.
We can't. We're losing you, Lisa. Meter corners or something. Mitre. There we go. It's a freaking English. They can't use the same sound for the same letter every time. They have to change it up so that we, second language speakers, can look like stupid people. Okay, so when you know how to do a mitered corner, you'd actually almost don't have to lift. You could do your fold right underneath while you're there, and go around. This is now a little bit lengthy, but I can't really stop in the middle. I can't really. Okay. I would pin this if I was working not against the clock, because I would hate to have to redo it. Okay, we're almost there. We're almost there. One more side, then we're done. Some people iron this flat before they start, but I find that if you do that, you actually lose that handy line that you have there that shows you where to actually sew. So yeah, I don't actually iron it flat. Okay, and we're back. Everything is. Thing with anything that you've quilted is that you have this big, lumpy, heavy, unmovable piece of fabric that doesn't bend and shift like other fabrics. Okay, one more corner and we're done. Well, at least now you get to see how I get the whole thing. Okay, so ideally, once we've done this, the next stitch we're going to do is what's called a stitch in the ditch. And ideally, you would change your thread to match, because the one is going to have to be black to match the one side, and the other is going to have to be red. So, but I'm going to keep it red because it's just going to be too time consuming. Last corner, last one up, and so I'm gonna just get that quickly. Okay, so now there's another bit that we have to know. When we get to the piece that we've already sewn, you are gonna, like me, realize that you think the one you should edge is the one that you sew last. It's actually the one that you sew first that you should have given a turn back. Excuse me. I just so this happens to me every time. Logic makes you huh?
Marcel says, Pamela on Facebook says it's hilarious, the miter thing. He says it reminds her of the pattern making process. And Marcel says her husband is shouting the correct word from the other room.
Tell him, thank you very much. What would we do without men? Okay, so as I said, every time I get to this point, because I was thinking now I'm going to turn it up. You actually need to turn when you start to edge it. Okay, so I'll show you now. I keep forgetting that, but luckily it's just a little unpick there. Alright, last bit to the end. And the last one, you actually don't need to edge, because that's going to be what? I'm going to show now. I'm going to come close.
Okay. Just pause quick.
I already fixed it, Lisa. Isn't it fixed?
Not on my side. Just let me try again.
My laptop's dead, so I can't check on my laptop on the laptop, but it should be working again.
Okay. It's not working yet.
What is that?
YouTube.
Hold on. Can the people on YouTube give us an indication on whether YouTube is working? Take a breather. Everyone's still following.
Yeah. Let's go.
Oh, yes, YouTube is working. Yeah, okay, you go on.
Is it working? Lisa?
Yes, she said it is working.
Okay. Alright, so now you can see that I've done all my little miter corners. Let me get that right. Okay? And as I said, the mistake I make every time is to think that it is the last one that I have to turn. It's actually the one that you start on, because that's the one that goes over. Alright. Okay, so now I want to show you what happens. Look here. If I pull this, check. How pretty is that? a little square corner. Who made that comment? Ask her husband if he can do this.
Amanda's getting competitive, but she says she's not competitive, but she really is.
So there we go. We have all 4 our little corners nice and mitered. Let me get that right. Okay, so before we end and before we do the next bit, we actually need to make the little ties. So what I've done is I've just taken bias binding, but I mean I would suggest you take ribbon because I couldn't find my ribbon stash, wherever that is. I can't find it. And you need to make 4 little ties, okay? And now I would also suggest that you actually put this over your machine like this, and you are going to decide where would be the best place to tie them, and I think that is about it there. So I'm going to I got a mark. It's going to be somewhere there.
Lynn says I can never say mitre and I'm English, so I just say Mildred. It's a Mildred corner.
It's just as I said, they don't say it's a mitre. How many mitres away from you are you? No, they say meter.
Yes.
Ne? So now
I don't know how it's spelled though.
Yeah, a mitre is actually with an I think. Now I think about it. Yeah.
I don't actually know.
But still, it's metric and mitre and meter. How many sounds does one language need?
English has a lot of sounds.
For one bloody year. Anyway. Okay, so now I'm just marking the back the same. And I'm going to check it. Just check it. Always check it because you don't want to... This is a finish up system. You don't want to do this and then find out... I wonder if it shouldn't be a bit lower. I think actually I have decided. Yes, I think it needs to be just like 2 centimeters above this little mark. So we're going to just mark it back to front, get that one marked there. There we go. And then we're going to swap it over and mark it on this side so that we can put the ties in there. The ties can always also be put in afterwards, depending on how finicky you are with finishing. You could have also put the ties in already. It doesn't really matter, guys. It is your personal choice. Okay, alright, so now I'm going to take my 4 ties and I am, either way it's going to, so I'm going to put it at the back like this. I'm going to put it right in there. I'm going to pull over my bias binding and I'm going to pin that. Whoops, pin it so that it actually pins. There we go. And I'm going to do the same on this one. So I have my mark. I'm going to put it there and I'm going to pull over my binding. Alright. And pin it. 2. And last one, second last one. I'm going to put it there. Pull over my binding. Pin it. And last one. Okay, so now I would also suggest that you pin your corners. I actually, would suggest that if you haven't done this before, that you actually go around and pin all the way, because bias binding tends to stretch and move around a little bit. So I would go and I would actually take my corner, because the back of your mitre corner is not going to fold as pretty as your front, ne? So you're going to take it and you're going to pull it back and you're going to pin that, and then you're going to take the top one and give it a fold there, and then you're going to pin that. So it's going to make, so when you're doing quilting, actually you would go afterwards and hand sew that little corner again. But I always pin just my corners so that I can get back, you know, when I get to them, I'm not having to sickle because I didn't do it. Okay, pin and turn. Oh, this one is a little bit finicky. There we go.
Pamela on Facebook says that cover looks amazing. My next projects. Thanks, A. I think A stands for Amanda.
Yes, Pamela was one of my students. I think it's Pamela from my. I think she said so just now.
I'm not sure. Marcel on Facebook also says, any chance we could do a box bag someday? Here, I know I'm being cheeky.
Yeah, someday.
That doesn't feel like that isn't. That,
It's actually easy. It's less work than this, but guys, just give it a minute. You're gonna see this is such a cool thing. Okay, so I'm just pinning all my corners. You don't need to pin the others, because you can also iron them. But the corners are painful when you get to them, so you might as well just get them right and pin them. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually iron my bias binding, so that I don't have to struggle so much when I am sewing, so that already has a little bit of a memory, an iron memory. And then it also stays where it should stay.
Lynn says, didn't you say the tote bag tutorial would work for a cover / box cover?
The tote bag. The what?
The tote bag tutorial. She said it would work for a box cover.
What was
You
it?
said that.
Why can't I
She asked-
remember the tote bag?
I don't know.
Guys, 18 projects in, I can't remember what the tote bag looked like. I'm thinking, Lynn, it's late. It's late for me to remember 17 projects back.
The shopping bag, she said.
Oh, okay, the shopping bag. Yes, it's the same principle as a shopping bag. To make a basic machine cover that is boxy. It's just measurements.
Lynn says, maybe I'm going mad.
No, you're not going bad. You're right. That's the tote bag that got me again. You know, ek is meer van 'n checkers bag girl as a tote bag. So we get this. When you do this little bit where it's being joined, it's always good to also pin, because this bottom one tends to want to slip out. So you want to pin it so that it doesn't show. There we go. There we go. Almost finished, almost ready. Okay, so as I said before, the next stitch we're going to do is, some people do it as a stitch in the ditch. I don't, as I said, because I'm a lazy sewer. I'd rather get something finished than get something perfect. Alright, so let me show you. A stitch in the ditch would mean, can you all see me, is that you are going to sew in that ditch between that fabric and that fabric on the right hand side. Okay? But if you're lazy like me, and as I said to you, remember I give you easier ways to do things because it is quicker also, but you don't have to do it. That's why I always tell you that there is a right way and a wrong way. Lisa, what is happening here?
I don't know.
She's gone.
Lisa's we've kind of lost Lisa.
Okay. So stitch in the ditch would be on the right hand side, in between exactly there, so that your stitch doesn't actually show on the right hand side. Okay, but I'm a bit lazy.
Guys, if you're watching on anything else, go do the poll on YouTube. Lisa's posted a poll on YouTube, so go check that out. You know, vote there. It's going to show up in the chat. So if you're doing it, do a poll. I'm not sure exactly what the poll is, but go check it out.
Okay, so I sew on the back, and then I don't get a perfect looking front, and that's why if I was sewing this, I would have made my under my bobbin thread, I would have made black so that it doesn't actually show. It shows less on the front. I'm going to show you now. When I'm done, you'll see what happens when, because it's now going to be a red line and it's going to show. But this is just easier and quicker, but this is not the neatest way. And as I said, this is a cover for me. It's not like I'm making it for someone else. If I was making it for someone else, I would definitely be doing a stitch in the ditch.
Miss Cotolo says, hi, I was advised not to buy a brother machine because parts have to be ordered and they could take 3 months to arrive. However, through research, I found it to be quite popular among good seamstress.
Okay,
Can you advise? I still want to go for brother.
So let me tell you what happened and why people are saying that, you know, I don't know. I always get it when people, okay, so we've just been through COVID, people, and there was very few shipments coming during COVID. Also, the Chinese and the Japanese and the Philippines and they all went through lockdown at different stages to us. So when we were coming out of lockdown already, Japan only went into lockdown long after us. So they didn't. So people don't realize that it's that domino effect. Okay. There was also a problem with actual shipping containers. They were leaving China or Japan or wherever, brothers from Japan, they were leaving, but nobody was sending anything to Japan and China because of COVID. So they didn't actually have shipping containers to send. So people don't get it when we say that we are only now starting to get our shipments, which we should have gotten about possibly the 6 to 8 months ago. They are only now arriving because only now is the lockdowns everywhere done, and as I said, stuff is going back, food and stuff is going back to China and Japan and wherever. So they actually have shipping containers, and you can actually Google this. It's a real thing. I heard that, as I said last time, I heard that is the excuse from brother, and when I Googled it, it is a real thing. The shipping container shortage. I could not actually believe that that is something, but it was. So we have recently received quite a few shipments, and we're still waiting on 1 or 2 more, but we are almost, I'm not saying all, almost again at normal stock levels, which means that we mostly have everything. I know some of the embroidery frames have been out of stock for 8 months, and this was largely due to COVID. So before COVID, I had never had any stock issues with brother, and I suppose that if you really go and look and speak, you'll find that most of the machine companies have the same problem as brother. It's just that so many more people are actually buying and have brother sewing machines that okay, so I want to show you what I do, and then you'll see that the way I do it from the back, you sometimes get the line showing. See there? Can you see? Now that does not bother me. But if it bothers you, do a stitch in the ditch. Google stitch in the ditch. There's even a foot you can buy to do stitch in the ditch, okay? And as I said, you would then also change your back thread, the back thread or the front thread, depending on which way. Okay, guys, so this is it. It goes over, and then these are too long. I will cut them shorter. These just lightly do that. Oh, how cute. Like that. So easy enough. Alright. There we go. Okay. Now, the cool part of it. is that when you want to actually sew, it goes onto your table like that, okay? And your machine goes like that. There we go. And we have this handy little flap which you can lower or lift as you want with, I have no tools left, I don't know where I put them, with your scissors.
Miss Kotola says brother and typical seem to be so popular.
Yes, they are. They are very popular. It's because they are good quality, good quality, and at a good price, good value for money. That's what it is. Okay, guys, that is our tutorial. I hope you liked it. I want to show you on this side. I don't know if you can see, but you would have it like this, and then you can drop it depending on how high your table is, and your stuff can go in here. See, like a pen.
Marcel on Facebook
And
says I
you can
absolutely
even
love.
have some pins like this. Look, so that you don't have to have a pin cushion.
Marcel on Facebook says I absolutely love my brother machine. Thanks to you ladies, hubby got me a brother.
Shame your mother should have gotten you a brother though.
Yes, this is what when little girls say they want a brother for their birthday. This is what they actually mean.
Yeah, they didn't really want the brother, a real brother, a like living brother.
And then
Okay,
someone said,
guys.
I just love how it came out. Can't wait to try out the pattern for my machine.
Yes. Okay, so just remember that the pattern is for quite a big machine. Can you see? And I cut it. Can you see that it's quite big? So just make it fit. All right. There's no way for me to design a sewing machine cover that'll fit all your machines. There's a reason why there is not a lot of people who make them and sell them. That is the exact reason why. Okay. So if you have a specific machine and you want a specific color and you want a cover and you want a pattern, lots of American, especially on Etsy, that's the one phone. Especially on Etsy, they will say this is a cover for the Brother F420. So someone went and designed the exact cover for this machine. Okay, so let's talk about my new machine. I'm so happy. Okay, so I upgraded from the one A150, and this is called the F420. What I like about it is obviously that this is in its little holder, and that the threading bit can be closed while the machine runs, so it does prevent. Lisa, are you falling, my child? Your roof is very uneven.
My phone is overheating.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so it has a cover, and you can actually close it while you're sewing, which some of the other machines, with dust, it's such a pain. Anyway, okay. So other to that, it obviously has more stitches. It also has this handy little light, which I didn't know about, that you don't have to wait for it to be on the screen, but mostly it has the same functions, and it has, let me show you this, because this is really cute. It has a little bucky with all its feet that actually fits onto the machine, and then I actually also have, which I was supposed to open today, I don't know if you guys have seen the Y tables, but I'm going to show you this. Most of the Brother machines actually have a very specific Y table to fit them. So don't just go buy any, make sure that you are choosing the right one. But these are awesome. And this one is especially big, because this machine doubles, not doubles, but this machine has got extra size in its hole. So this is larger. If I can show you, there's A16, which is the same as the A150. You can see that this is much smaller. Can you see? So it's nice for people who quilt. It gives you more space under here, and that is why its Y table is also so much bigger than the other machines. It's also to help with your quilting. So these tables are so super easy to put on. They just go like this. Well, the others were. What is happening here? Do I need to take something else off? Is this the right one? This does not seem like the right one. I did not check. Does it say? Yeah. Oh, this is the wrong freaking table. Oh, Jeremy, I didn't check. Okay, well, they slip on very easily if they fit the actual machine. Oh, makes me so angry.
Someone on Facebook says, do you know where in Alberton area I can get sewing lessons / classes?
No. We join sewing groups on Facebook. I know there is someone on our WhatsApp group that actually does sewing lessons also. This has also got a square feed dog, so it's the actual feed dog is bigger, and all of this is metal. While with the other machines, a lot of this is plastic, so this makes it more hardy. And the other nice thing, if I can stop hiding things from myself, it also has here we go. I'm going to show you how this works. It's going to be difficult because this needs to hang off the table. It has a knee lifter. I don't know if you guys know what a knee lifter is, but on the industrial machines they have knee lifters. So I'm going to drop the feed dog, and if I press, you're supposed to sit like this and it lifts with your knee. See, I'm not touching the machine except for the knee lifter. So this makes sewing so much easier, especially if you're doing a lot of the same thing over and over and over. Lifting at the back here is such a pain. So now you just move your leg, and yeah.
Saskia on Facebook asks, is an overlocker necessary or a nice to have, especially with making clothing? Or can one survive using zigzag stitch on a normal sewing machine?
Zigzag. You can survive using zigzag. I only got my first overlocker after I had kids. So I was probably about 28, 30 when I got my first overlocker. So and before that I made all my own clothes, and I did everything with zigzag. And you know what, people go, oh yeah, but it's not going to look professional. Have you ever walked up to someone and gone and lifted their clothing up and go, oh, this is not overlocked, very unprofessional? We don't do that. Nobody does that. So as long, huh?
All the time.
Do you do that all the time?
All the time. And I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, no, I know you do. Okay, guys, that is it. Oh, we went over. You have 20 minutes to ask me whatever you want.
Guys, ask some questions. Come on.
Any questions? Anything? Anything? I can't believe they sent me the wrong, and I didn't check it. See, this is this. I didn't check that it's the right one. I don't know why did I get the wrong type. I'm sad. It's my own one. Oh, jeez.
But an overlocker is lekker.
It is very, very nice. Very, very nice. There is some big surprise maybe in the pipeline for possibly the week when I return from Pretoria. I am going to see a very specific supplier, and I can't say anything until I get back. Maybe by Tuesday I can say something, but until then I have to. But yeah, very exciting news.
I know.
Yeah, I know you know.
There's a big secret that we can't tell anyone.
Yeah, it's a big secret.
Matthew doesn't even know.
Yeah, Matthew, you.
Actually, I'll tell you afterwards.
Oh yes, I'm so glad I get to know.
All of us know and they don't know.
Yeah, we're doing this on purpose.
Vuyuswa says, do you sell machines or just the accessories?
We sell machines and we sell the accessories. It's all actually up on our website. If you have any questions about the machines, you can WhatsApp us, Matthew, 061 533
4412.
4412. Let me write that down because every time I have to read it from there. Okay, so if you need, guys, just something else.
Say it again so I can put it in chat.
061 533 4412. Guys, I just want to say something about WhatsApp. Okay? So I've actually decided today that I am going to not be on top of WhatsApp all day, every day, because I literally get to 12 o'clock and I've done nothing but answer WhatsApps. Okay? Sibongile, my new assistant, is, I'm sure you can hear, is not English first language speaker, so we are training her to be able to answer all the WhatsApps. So if you get a WhatsApp that sounds a little bit curt, it's not because she's rude or we are rude. It is because she is learning to write and speak. Well, she can speak English, she just doesn't know how to professionally write everything perfectly. So let's all help her and be nice. And so at some point, obviously, I'm not going to be answering all the WhatsApps anymore, because a lot of time it's just, is my package on its way? Is it not? I don't understand that because I've never phoned Take-A-Lot to ask them where my package is. But it seems that people want to know this. So let me explain that somewhat to you. When you order with us, you will get to checkout, and then you are going to be choosing a payment method. Okay, so if you pay with Yoko, I get the money immediately. If you pay with PayFlex, pay fast, I get the money immediately. If you pay with PayFlex, I get the money immediately. If you pay with EFT, there is no way that my website can know that you are going to your bank and putting money into my bank. My bank account and the website is not linked. Okay? So every single person who gets worried about their package not having arrived yet is because they pay with EFT, and especially Nedbank and Capitec takes 3 days before it shows up in my bank. Okay? So now you go, oh, but I ordered something for $50. Can you not just send it? I had an order a week ago for 25,000 Rand. They sent me a pop, a Nedbank pop. It looked 100% legit, guys. I have still not received that money. Okay? So no, I cannot send anything out without the money showing in my bank. So my suggestion is, do not use EFT. Please. Because if you pay any other way, literally the day we get the order, it gets packed, it gets sent. If you pay by EFT, as I said, now you pay me on a Friday, I only get the money Wednesday morning. And then people get antsy and they worry, but you say 2 or 3 days delivery. Yes, from the day that I sent it. So choose Yoko. Yoko is I use Yoko all the time. Zapper, SnapScan, PayFast, any one of those. They are all trustworthy. I checked them all out. Trust me, I would not put them on my website if they are not trustworthy. Use them and do not use EFT. We are probably, by the middle of this year, gonna scrap EFT off our website because we've had 2 fraudulent people trying to defraud us already, and we've only been in this business for 1 year. So just so you know. So yes, I'm gonna possibly switch off the WhatsApp very soon. In the mornings maybe, just get some work done and then answer WhatsApps. Any questions, Lisa?
Lynn says, "Oh, come on, how about a clue?"
I can't give you a clue. I cannot give you a clue because
Saskia on Facebook asks, are the older machines generally stronger than the newer stuff, and metal versus plastic machines?
older machines are better. It's like, you bought a machine 40 years ago, it will still sew. But remember that those were mechanical machines. They didn't have all the computerized bits. They didn't have all the funky bits that we get now. And just like a laptop and a computer, this does not last for 40 years. Yes, you can still work on a Mac 1, Apple Mac 1. You can still work on it, but you cannot work functionally on it. You can play with it. So yeah, the newer machines they do not last as long as previously because of the computerized parts just gets outdated, and then the other thing is, if you buy a manual machine, you buy a good manual machine, it could last you for 40 years. But that is the reason why the older machines last, because they were all manual. I always compare it to a City Golf. Okay, if you buy yourself a City Golf, you don't have power steering, auto windows, seats that can move, and all of that, Bluetooth, alles. But if something goes wrong with that car, anyone can work on it. Anyone that's ever, possibly people who've never done cars, can work on it. You can get the parts anywhere because it's a manual system. The system is not so computerized that it goes out of fashion or out of print or out of, what do you say about technology? Out of, it ages very quickly or quicker.
Kwabi asks, just says, I just love my brother Overlocker.
I want another half of my question.
Okay,
Metal, plastic,
metal or plastic? Okay, so
machines.
you don't actually, I don't think you actually get any metal machines. The insides are all metal. Well, not all. Mostly inside is a cast iron or cast something. Might be cast aluminium. But you don't really get any metal machines unless they are industrial machines, and that is a completely different function. So you can't compare a domestic machine to an industrial. But most new machines are plastic outside with a metal inside. But then you do get machines that you can buy for like 1,500 Rand from your local cucumber dealer. And the inside is actually pieces of metal that is screwed together. So if you pull here, if you do this to a machine, you should not be able to move the two pieces, because this inner structure, the metal bit that's inside, should be stiff enough not to be able to do this. I've seen on the internet where people take a machine like this and it literally does that. Cheap machine. So don't buy a machine that says metal, please, people. I know exactly which machine we're talking about, I think, but it's not metal. It's not more metal. It has a bigger piece of metal here. Okay, so it's called heavy duty or semi this or that's not what makes the machine. The pieces of metal on it is not what makes a machine good.
To everyone still on the live stream, please spam our comments and our chats and spam the like button.
Like. Thumb up.
Before you finals, please.
Yeah, give us love, man. Give us love. Any other questions? Jeez, Matthew, you had a question.
Yes, someone said, I just love my brother Overlocker 2540. Yes, D.
Yes.
The threading a breeze, just love using it.
It is one of the best threaders out there. Now I got to be honest, I haven't tried all the machines, new machines, but the brother it's 2504D over 4-thread overlocker is an extremely easy thread. It really is. And if you're used to an old machine, it is so simple. It's really good. It really is. I would never actually I've sold quite a few of my machines from classes, and I've not sold the brother because I'm keeping it because it's so good.
And then Lynn is basically just saying she wants the hint because she said it can be like a Fabric 8 Wordle.
No,
Guess the surprise.
I cannot, unfortunately cannot give a hint even because said people might be actually tuned in.
And then Lynn says, "Oh no, how will we pre-order?"
For what?
I assume she means on the WhatsApp.
Lynn, I don't get too excited, Lynn. This might not be something that is for you.
She was talking about, this is a very old message. She was talking about not us being not on WhatsApp.
She said also, I've sent her WhatsApp to pre-order the new ironing board, and I also want to order bias binding roll because I'm struggling to get the plain colors in rolls.
I am going to sort out Amina's labels first.
And now,
and then I'm going to do the ironing board for you. Okay. So I am not making any more promises because I just cannot. I actually have to take my father to the doctor tomorrow, and the IT specialist is coming. So there goes another morning. But that is my plan, is first do the labels. I owe you some labels too, Lynn, not? Yes, I do.
And Rodko.
Yes.
And the freaking designs.
Yes, guys, if you want the labels, we don't, if we don't get the designs by the end of the week, we're going to choose new winners next week.
You can't just say that now after people aren't on here. Actually, no.
Actually, I can say that because they won Anya. So if they're not back after me giving them free labels, which I haven't given them, then they are not my friend.
Well, I think the other person did send it, so it's just Lynn and what's her name?
Yeah, no, she doesn't need labels. She wants an ironing board. She wants to jump the gun.
yeah, she's starting something. Rodko just said, Lynn pre-ordered the ironing board and then with a thinking face.
Yeah, no, Lynn does this. She does this and then she has to wait because it's all up to me. It's all down to me in the end.
I managed to bend the needle with sewing elastic. I was doing the stitch on straight stitch 2.5. Should I have used a different stitch? I was sewing the elastic ends over each other.
Oh, did you bend the needle? What needle did you use? What did she say? A needle size?
No, she didn't.
It could be that you were using too thick a needle. So try and use a thinner needle next time. But you know what, Ne? I mean, I don't break a needle every day, but sometimes needles just break, and it's not your sewing or anything like that. It also happens lots of times if you're going backwards and forwards because you're ending, especially through something like elastic, because that is already a dense thing that it's going through, and now you're going backwards, so now it has to not just pass through the 2 layers of elastic, but also your 5,000 back and forths that you've stitched. So sometimes you just lose needles. It happens.
Lynn says it was a universal needle.
Universal says nothing. I need a size.
Universal says nothing.
I need a 80, 12, 70, 10, 11 or 10, and a 90, 15, I think is the other one. 90, 14. So she probably used an 80-12 needle. If it keeps happening, I would use a universal needle, but I would use a thinner needle.
Lynn says her friend is doing a design for her.
What design?
For the ribbon.
Oh,
labels.
for the ribbon.
Yes.
Oh, okay, for the labels. Great.
Maggie's about like 10,000 hours behind on the chat.
Your mom talks lots for the other questions. What am I supposed?
She definitely went back and forth like 5,000.
Is it? Okay, guys, what's the time? I can't see.
It's too advanced asking for the size of the needle.
Then if I could remember, did you order needles from us? I can't remember. But as I said, an 80-12 is your middle of the road. And if it's a universal, that's as universal as it gets. Okay? 80-12. So the needle sizes work like the...
Facebook wants you to tell her more about the labels. Are they personalized?
I'm too scared to talk about the labels. Nothing has worked out for the labels. As I said, I now have everything ready. And now my computer refuses to work. Yes, we are definitely in the process of doing personalized ribbons. So I can do ribbon for packaging. So 21st birthday ribbons, yes. But mostly for clothing labels. But please, I jumped the gun because I didn't realize how much stock I actually have to keep with the ribbons. So I had to reorder again. And also, I've been sitting swearing in front of my computer for 2 days. So as soon as I show the labels on the live, then we will be ready.
Ursula on YouTube says she has 2 older Benina sewing machines and a Benina Overlocker, and she loves it to bits and will never replace them.
Yes, I would agree with you, except I literally threw my old Benina I literally threw it in the bin. I was one day just struggling to thread it again. I got it from my mom, so it was bought probably in the 80s, 90s, no 80s. I got it from my mom, and we could never, I don't know if there was something wrong with it or what, but every time we took it back to Benina, they threaded like in 10 seconds. It was a 5 thread. So since then, I have never, ever touched the 5 thread again. I refuse to work with them. I actually don't see the point of them. And I literally one day was swearing so badly that I thought to myself, you know what? You have 3 other overlockers. This one does not need to be here. And I literally went and threw it in the bin. It drove me nuts. But I have my mom's old Benina inside and my Benina from when I was 21. I got it as a 21st gift. And they still work perfectly, yes.
Len says you always doodle, we should print a doodle paper.
Yeah, I do. I said you can't give me a pen. And I am always, I shouldn't have a pen in my hand.
And Amina says she wants to see a tutorial on how you print t-shirts. And I want to see the puppy.
The puppy, I'd forgotten about the puppy. Guys, I hope you don't expect the puppy.
Especially at this rate, it's growing really fast.
I don't think you understand. This is a Great Dane. Okay? So it's almost border collie size already. Yeah, possibly like a small border collie size. I actually thought about it this afternoon and then I forgot to take a picture again. Do you not have a picture that you can put on the screen here?
I don't.
She does not.
Pictures either.
Hmm?
You don't send me pictures either.
I sent you one for the story once.
Is one on
The family.
Oh, you did. Okay.
I sent you to put on a story. But as I said, it's not a puppy like
now
you.
I can't put it on the screen
I
because
see
it's
that.
not on my computer.
Well, we can't see you anyway, so don't bother.
And I lost you.
There we go. You're back.
And we're back.
I have a phone, but my phone is
No, we're not.
is the camera, so I can't. Okay, guys, is that it? Is that it? So shall we? I shall see you or speak to you from the Pretoria next week. So we won't have a tutorial, guys. There will be no tutorial. But so get your questions lined up because it's just going to be a chit chat. And maybe if we find something up there that's interesting, and if you have questions, ask them. Okay.
Amina says we should do a day in the life of Freya.
You know what? I actually got. Can I just tell you why I got the second dog? Not because I wanted a puppy desperately, but because I could not deal with my needy grown-up puppy that wanted to be with me every second of the day. And he could not deal with the fact that I was working. He just sat there crying at that gate the whole freaking day. So that's why I actually got the puppy, to entertain him, and it took about a week, and he is now happy to be with her while I work. You know, having a great day in here, it seems all fun and games if he would lie on the pillow that I gave him, but he doesn't want to lie there. So if I'm sitting here, he wants to lie here. If I'm standing there, he wants to lie there where I want to walk. Okay, guys.
Is she actually getting new stock in Pretoria?
I'm hoping so too. But yes, we shall see. We shall see. We actually, I don't know if you guys have been on the website. We have loaded about, in the last 2 weeks, we've loaded about 100 and something products. So there are, if you haven't been on a while, then there definitely is some new products. I'm just staring at my white table that is the complete wrong one. I'm so angry.
We should also start doing the day in the life on Instagram again.
Oh yeah.
Both guys in Instagram chat. Do you guys want to see day in the life again? Should we bring it back? We gotta bring it back, but
Yeah. Okay, is that it? Are you guys done with me? Can I go eat now? Smoke and eat.
I don't have any more questions. Len says yes. Day in the life is coming back because Len said so.
Oh, Len.
And Amina.
And Amina. Kim has been very quiet lately.
Kim had to leave.
Oh, did you have to leave? Is she running again?
I don't know, but she
Kim,
did leave a little
we
bit
should
early.
ask Kim what she's running away from next week. If she's running away from me, that I just don't want to hear the right answer to that. Please lie. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for joining us. I hope this. I hope you all make these, and please, guys, don't forget to tag us. Doesn't matter if you didn't get the pattern from me. Just if you make something, tag us. Tag Fabric8 on Insta, please.
Okay.
All right, who's going first? Insta.
Yes, because it's
Bye,
easier.
Insta.
And now YouTube.
Bye, YouTube.
You can't put YouTube off. I have to put YouTube.
Oh.
These are put YouTube off. I can also push buttons.